Hello, Reg here, and this is the second part in the series of Earthbound music editor video tutorials. And we'll be covering instruments next, but first things first, there's something I forgot to talk about on the BGM list in the last video, because I didn't have enough time, so I'm just going to go ahead and cover that real quick. And it's this up here, the current ROM and original ROM forms. I guess it's pretty obvious. See, the current ROM is, what you have loaded, obviously, and the original ROM is the original clean version of the ROM, which is what the ROM you're using now was before you made any changes to it. Now, you do need to have this set because EBMused will not let you make any changes. It won't let you save any changes unless you have an original ROM set, because it needs a ROM to compare changed data to, so it knows what's been changed, it's what's and what hasn't, and if you need to revert any changes. So anyways, that's about it. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on to instruments. And first we'll have to pick a certain song for it. We'll pick Geiges, which is song 69. And basically here, this lists all the instruments that are loaded from the primary and secondary packs. Now for Geiges's the rock theme is it uses primary pack 05 and secondary pack 7C. Now 0 all the way to 19, these are the instruments from the primary pack. You're gonna have these instruments in just about every song you'll work with. And the instruments that are specific to Geiges's theme is 1A through 1F. These are instruments that are specific to this song, like the guitars and the drums. And basically, oh, and if I guess I'll get this out of the way. All these numbers, all this technical stuff. This isn't really important. Don't let it scare you. If you're worried it might be important, it's not. It's just settings, as it is over here. It's just more technical settings over each instrument and the samples that they are. The only numbers over here that matter are the ones here, which are the ID numbers. And these will be important when you're setting up instruments to use when you're making a song. So just keep an eye on that. Pretty much the purpose of this screen, besides looking at all the technical information, is to also test your instruments. As you can see here, instrument test. You can see all the different notes and their different octaves, and see, like, let's say we'll select instrument 1, which is a horn. And as you saw over here, blue lights shown up, which shows like which note was playing. Like, let's say if I want to play G2, I just click here. If I want to play D4, I click here. And when I was first playing the notes, I was actually using my keyboard. So that's two ways you can practice different notes and different instruments, is by either using your keyboard as a piano, or if you click over here. I find the keyboard's a lot better to use because you can practice melodies and different sounds and all that with the keyboard, since you can't do the same thing when you're actually working on a song. So if you want to actively play a melody out or something with your keyboard, you can do it here and see how it sounds. And that pretty much sums it up for this screen. That's pretty much all I use it for, is just practicing instruments, seeing what they make, like the guitar. And one more thing I want to cover that's important is the octave up here, which is important for both testing instruments and messing with songs. And this is basically the octave that your keyboard is set to. Like, let's say for example, see, right now we have 2 to 3 selected. So if I press Z on my keyboard, it's gonna play C2, as you can see here. And if I want to play C3, I press Q. Now if I change the octave to 3 to 4, Z will now play C3, and Q will now play C4. And this is also useful for when you're putting down music and edit song with your keyboard. Now earlier I said you can't do that, and I meant like you can't like record like live. You can't record live playing music. All using your keyboard does will put notes into the song, and I'll talk more about that later when we actually get to that, which actually I think that would be now. I'm going to go ahead and cover some of the features of the screen, but first I'm going to say this is where all the magic happens. I mean, this is the edit song screen. This is where you make your music, and this is where the later videos are gonna mostly be at. So and I know all this stuff looks really scary, but don't worry about it. You don't, if you're just working on custom music or nothing, you don't have to worry about making complex stuff like this. And anyways, what I want to do here is just talk about all the different settings, all this stuff here. Anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and start. First thing you'll notice is these 8 tracks from 0 to 7. These are all the individual channels of the SPC 700, the Super Nintendo sound chip. And obviously, you can put notes into each one and, play sound. Now, it kind of sounded weird because a couple of instruments eBemused won't play right, like the noise in the 8-bit portion of this song. For some reason, eBemused can't play it right, so that's why it sounded kind of weird. Anyways, that's just something to keep in mind. A couple of instruments won't sound right. In this case, 18. 18 is the NES style noise sound that Pokemon's Business used for a drum set in this portion of the song. Anyways, moving on, you'll notice these check boxes. They control which soundtracks you can actually listen to at the moment. So if I wanted to mute track 1, I can just check this, uncheck it, and if I want to listen to it again, I just check it back like this. Anyways, going up here, this is the order. These basically contain the routines that these are kind of like, let's say, let's see, how would I say this? I would call these like Legos. Like, let's say, like this is just a huge stack of Legos, and each Lego has different stuff written on it. And like, now see here, you'll see 2 Legos with 1. Both of these say the same thing. They're both 1. That's because technically these would be the same Legos. So if you wanted a certain routine here to play twice, then you just put this and you put that, and these 2 routines will just just play out. See, it's the exact same data, just repeated. So if you want to repeat a certain routine and you don't want to add in any more music, you can just repeat. Anyways, moving on to the repeat form. This basically, if you set this to 0, the song will not repeat, but if you set to 255, the song will loop. I've never seen a point in using any number in between, so don't worry about that, unless you want it to loop a certain, like a specific set amount of times. Repeat position is what order on here it's gonna loop back on. So like if it's 5, it's gonna loop on 3, because that's the 5th routine in this list starting from the left. So it's not gonna start here, it's gonna start here because that's the 5th. Anyways, this drop box just selects whatever routine is used in this spot. So if I want to change 3 to the beginning, I just put in 0. Now I'll probably mess up the rest of the song. And then last thing I want to cover is actually I'll cover more stuff later because we're out of time. So if you have any questions, answer in the comments, and have a nice day.